The numbers are alarming. They say it all. Listen to this. Our city has seen an explosion of crime, shootings up more than 50% since 2019, carjackings up 300%, expressway shootings up 400%, and downtown shootings up more than 200%. So what's the problem and what are the solutions? That's the subject of a special Fox 32 town hall Thursday at 9:30 called Save Our Streets. And part of that conversation is with the people at the University of Chicago Crime Lab. This morning we are joined by Director of Programs Kim Smith to talk about these trends. Kim, good morning to you. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Boy, those numbers seem impossible. This just can't be happening. What's causing this upswing and how much does the pandemic have to do with this?
That is the question that we've all been asking ourselves for the past 2 years, unfortunately. And I think the pandemic has certainly contributed to a lot of what we're seeing. The population that was most likely to be involved with violence before the pandemic, young adults, they experienced just really staggeringly high rates of unemployment, incredible mental health impacts. We also know that gun carrying, we think that gun carrying in Chicago increased significantly during the pandemic. So there was a lot happening all at once. It's really hard to identify the one precise thing that may have contributed, but we think a lot of things happened at once, and that's what's contributing to the violence.
Well, you know, a lot of people are concerned about the different types of crime that we're seeing. We talked about the expressway shootings being up, downtown shootings, as well as carjackings. And you guys did a recent study on carjackings in our area. Tell us what that revealed.
The analysis that we did last year looked at carjackings that took place in 2020, really trying to understand what was potentially contributing to the surge and who was involved. And while the police department is only making arrests in about 10 to 15% of cases, the data that they do collect suggests that youth are more involved with carjackings. And we also saw an increase in victims reporting suspects were youth. So that increase in youth involvement mirrors some of what is happening, we think, across the country. And the same neighborhoods where carjackings are most concentrated, so south and west sides, are the same neighborhoods where internet access was the worst, where school attendance fell off the most during the pandemic. So we think that the overlap of these things is potentially what might result in more youth being involved with.
Hearing you answer that makes you realize too how important school is and what difference it can make. But let's talk solutions, because that's what our special is also about. First, the Violence Reduction Dashboard. Tell us about that.
Yes, so the Violence Reduction Dashboard, it is hosted by the City of Chicago. The Crime Lab did the technical build out of the tool, and it really pushes out data on where, when, who is involved with crime to the public. So it's up on the city website right now. Anyone can access it. And the idea is that by pushing out this information, we can all collectively work together to understand which programs to implement, where to target them to have the most impact. And we also hope it can serve as a tool to hold public sector officials accountable, because ultimately, you know, ensuring the safety of residents is the responsibility of the public sector. So by pushing out this data, we're hoping that it empowers media, activists, residents to really advocate for the things that will keep their communities safe.
And when you talk about keeping the community safe, you talk about programs. Part of the special that we're airing, we talked to Arnie Duncan, who of course is heading up Chicago CRED and going after and helping people who need it, who have been actually incarcerated, trying to help them find jobs. But you have another program you want to share with us called the Choose to Change program. So tell me about that.
Yes, the Choose to Change program, it's delivered by two local nonprofits, Youth Advocate Program and Children's Home and Aid, and it combines really intensive advocacy and mentoring with trauma-informed behavioral science and cognitive behavioral therapy. And we've found that the children, the youth who are participating in the program experience about 50% fewer violent crime arrests and an increase in school engagement and a reduction in school misconduct. So we're hopeful that as we are thinking about solutions and as the city, the county, the state, the federal government really do increase their investments in violence prevention in Chicago, these types of programs can be adopted by different nonprofits and can be scaled up.
Well, 50%, that is really significant. It sounds like the work you're doing is saying, let's get more programs out there. I want to thank you for joining me this morning, and also want to thank you guys for being part of our special report. We appreciate your time. And we just want to remind everybody that we want you to join us at 9:30 tomorrow. Dawn and I are taking a closer look at what it will take to save our streets with that Fox 32 special report that will also be available online on our website at fox32chicago.com. We'll be right back.